Hey Scott with Theoretical BS. My name's Greg Sanders, and this is a response video to the clip you made in 2007. The question, why are you a Christian? Uh, and I really love the way that you posed that question because I had the same question uh, for a while. It was something that I would ask people, uh, and they would never really give me a good enough answer. So first, let me go ahead and give you a little bit of background about me. I grew up in a Pentecostal background with my parents, with my mother and my father. They're very deep in their theology and raised us up, Christian schools, everything. But I began to kind of question certain things in theology around the time I joined the military. And 2008, 2009, after a series of circumstances and situations, I really began to think critically on what my upbringing and my beliefs, and to really actually do some research and try to get some understanding that's not just based totally upon what I've been taught, but to actually seek it out for myself, to find it, and to find the truth and find out what it is. So the more I just kind of live life, just kind of hanging out, going to work, doing what it is that I was doing at that time, between 2008 and 2010. And then I got deployed to Afghanistan. And out in Afghanistan, that bridge of my faith got even more distant, and I saw a lot of I saw a lot of hurt, a lot of harm, a lot of negativity, and in that in that environment, that really caused me to have even more questions. My job was a hospital corpsman, and as a hospital corpsman, we're basically the equivalent of like a paramedic in that situation, as far as how we respond to things and how we go out, and field medics as well as another comparison you could draw. So then what changed my life, getting more to more of the point here, was in 2012. In 2012, I got deployed to Cuba, Guantanamo Bay. And out there in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, there's a whole lot of free time for you to just really just write and get into a deep thinking zone. If there's ever a place to do research or to get into a place of just deep thought and get into an analytical mindset, it's out there in Cuba, because your connection with the world is very scarce. Everything is kind of old school out there. They've improved it, but it's still not like all the way up to par. So I had a whole lot of free time. So what I began to do was write this my thoughts, a monologue on just the entirety of what's important to me, which is the analyzing human interaction. So I started writing something called power scale theory. And what power scale theory was, it was observational data just based on one's ability to affect his or her environment in a grand capacity. And that's what it was. So what I did was I just started kind of just observing my environment when I was, whenever I was somewhere or out in a forum or public setting. And I just kind of peek game and watch how everybody in the room kind of interact. And I always noticed something in the room, and what it was there was more of an attraction or a flocking to the most inspired area, or the area where someone had seemed to have the most revelation. And there was always this uh, attraction. It was a magnetic effect, and it really interested me. So during my writing, I ran into a brick wall because I was like, well, where does it come from? This inspiration, this revelation that people feel. And I'm like, man, it can't be that God stuff that my family taught me. It can't be that. It has to be something else. It has to be. Gotta be. So I started looking up different more research and going on the internet, and whenever I got a chance to, and looking into it, I wasn't pleased with their answers about power and where it comes from and all of that. It was more of a information that you find on how to manipulate people around you, and that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for information on the source, and so I did all the searching I could do. I didn't come into with any valid, concrete answers. So after just really just hitting that brick wall, I ended up just saying, like, if creator, if you exist, reveal yourself to me. And that was what I just said. And I can't explain this any other way. The best analogy I guess I could really put forth is your favorite song. Your absolutely favorite song. When you hear the chords, or when you hear the way that the song is comprised together, and the melody in culmination with the voice of this artist, it pulls you. It just compels you, and it makes you feel a transcendent emotion that's unexplainable, that you can't really define in words, but you feel it because it uplifts you. It speaks directly, and if you don't even believe in having a spirit, like it, that part of you that you feel, whatever you define that as, whether it be just a series of synapses in your brain, or whatever we may describe that as, without trying to address a spirit, the human spirit, without addressing that, whatever emotion or whatever that's targeting, that releases those endorphins or make you feel that way, uh, that right there, I felt something amazing. The more I started to go deeper, and the more questions I had, it led me on a path. I'm not saying that it was just instantly this epiphany and light shone down from heaven onto me. That's not what happened to me specifically. What happened to me was, after I asked that question, there was a series of events that continued to answer every question I had, because I kept asking more questions. So I got one answer, then I got another answer, and then God led me to another answer. Well, at least this creator that I asked these questions to. So more and more different things started to happen, and then I started to notice a trend, especially with as I talked to uh, my wife when I called back home, because she wasn't with me when I was in Cuba, and I would always kind of give her this double perspective, and it led me back to when I give her an opinion. One opinion would be one that's based on my humanistic thought, and another opinion would be based on something from, I guess you could say, something that seemed slightly or somewhat biblically based. So that seemed to be in accord with this creator that I prayed to. So what happened was, I didn't know what I was doing when I went to go to the Bible, because I never fully read the Bible in its entirety at that point. Like, I wasn't really into it. So what I would do, I was like, Lord, if you're real, lead me, guide me, God, guide me, or Creator, guide me to where it's supposed to go. And I flipped the Bible open, and wherever it landed, I would put action to it, whatever I saw. And that really sounds delusional, I know, but it led me on a path and on a journey, and it was exciting and intense, and it just it affected me so deeply, and no one could tell me that uh, that what I experienced was a delusion, because and people could continue to feel that way, and I'd be fine with that, with someone else feeling that way. I really would, and the reason why is because when you have something that's real to you and you experience it for yourself, then nothing compares to that. Nothing, and there's nothing anybody could tell you from except from your own experience. So what I'm sharing with you honestly is my experience with it, and that's all I can do is to share that experience with you. And it led me on a journey, man, and I feel so much peace now in my life, and it led me, like, situation after situation, and there's nothing more real to me, nothing in this world more real to me, and the countless individuals that have died for this for their belief in the word, and the belief in the Bible, and belief in this Jesus Christ, people, countless people that have died for that. I now find myself in that same category. I love God. I love Jesus. I love this omnipotent being that took the time to even care about my little questions, and me thinking that I was, intelligent at some point. And then when I asked these questions, the way he answered it, it wasn't in this really complex, way. It was very simplistic in a way that spoke to me directly, and it didn't speak to me from a mentally challenging, I guess it didn't speak to me from some intellectual way. It spoke to me like spiritually, specifically to me, and it affected me, and my life will never be the same. And you live out here in California, man. I love to hang out with you, kick it with you sometime, man. Honestly, just for the sake of kicking it. You seem like a cool cat to kick it around, to hang out with, and hey, whatever it is, just talk about sports, whatever. Just hang out. But yeah. So this is why I'm a Christian, and yeah.